So we're already into session 5 of 7. Now we're going to do a SWOT analysis and a macro and micro environmental analysis to discover our issues. This is why we do a SWOT analysis, is to say what is going to stop us, what's going to hurt us, and what will stop us achieving our objectives. So in this lesson, or in session 5, we got 2 lessons. Lesson 1 is an advanced SWOT analysis, and we're going to look at key buying factors of your customers here and rate them versus your competitor. That's a very, very advanced SWOT analysis. We're not just saying strengths, weaknesses. We're saying in order priority, what do your customers want? And then we're going to rate them. Lesson 2, we're going to look at a macro environmental analysis called Pest Gel. And 2 activities are going to happen in session 5. You're going to list your customers' key buying factors and then rate them versus a competitor. Activity 2, you're going to list your major issues from your SWOT, your key buying factors, and your pest gel. And this is how we do an advanced SWOT analysis. We write down in order of priority our top 10 key buying factors of customers, and we rate ourselves versus our competitors. And here, if you've got a low score versus a competitor, that is an issue, all right? Or we call it a weakness. Where you have scored higher than your competitor, that would be a strength. And so here we can see that Henley versus the Gibbs MBA has got 8 issues. 8 scores are below the Gibbs scores, which means Henley has got a lot of homework to do to catch up. Now, where do we find these key buying factors? We normally do research. So here, the Financial Times asked customers, students of MBAs, what do you look for first? And they said reputation. Second, they look for academic quality. Third, they look at accreditation of the MBA. Fourth, the location of the campus, and so on. And so the next slide, we're going to call something else. We're going to call the key success factors. Now, what are key success factors? And the case study here is an MBA again. So here we know what customers want. And on this slide, we're going to say, how do we deliver on those top 10 key buying factors? And there again, we list in order priority, what do we need to do to deliver on these key buying factors? And here we can see we need to do 10 things in order priority to deliver the key buying factors. Number 1 key success factor, we need to what? We need to have great leadership on campus. We need to align the programs with unit standards. We need faculty, and we need highly skilled faculty. And here we can see that Henley again has another 8 issues versus Gibbs. And if you added up the columns, you'd see that Gibbs scores 91 here, and on the previous slide 95, which is higher than the competitor. So which means Gibbs is going to do well. So now I want you to tackle your own key buying factors. I want you to select one of your strategic business units, one of your departments, or one of your products, or one of your companies, and list in order of priority, what do you think are the top 10 key buying factors of your customers? So the nice thing about doing online videos is you can pause the video and do this exercise alone at your own pace. So if you had done this exercise, maybe your number 1 key buying factor could have been one of these 5 things. The number 1 key buying factor could be in the courtesy of employees. That's what customers are looking for. Or are they looking for ease of communicating with your employees? Or do they want employees, your staff, need to have a lot of knowledge? Or do they want transparency? Or do they want fast claim settlements? So once you know what your top 10 key buying factors are, it really assists the marketer tremendously with understanding what the business needs to deliver. Now, one needs to be a good systems thinker if you want to be a great marketer. You need to critically think about lots of things, all at the same time. And let's say you're in the car industry and somebody said by 2022, let's say the government said to you as a manufacturer, by 2022, all cars in South Africa must be electric. Now, this is a Tesla, which is an electric car, and fortunately for them, the macroeconomic environment or the macro environment, which one can't control, is playing into their hands. And luckily for them, the technological factors, the T in pest gel, is playing into their hands. The global trends are in their favor. So they've got a lot of opportunities. The E is environmental. Environmentally, we realize we're polluting the planet. And legally, the L, imagine if government said by 2022, all cars must be electric. So how do we do this macroeconomic analysis practically? Well, this is how you do it practically. On the left, you write down the pest gel factors, and on the top, you'd write strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And you'd fill in all those little boxes. So you'd start off with politically, what are strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats? Economically, what are the factors? What are strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? And there you can see our populated opportunities and economic. And of course, there we would import from China when our local currency is strong, and we would export when the rand is weak. Those are opportunities. Socially or socioculturally, what are opportunities and threats? Technologically, this would be a fantastic one if you were in a high-tech environment like Tesla is. You would fill in strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in detail. So then we'd also populate globalization, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, environmental opportunities, threats, strengths, weaknesses, and legal is the most important one. Legal, from black economic empowerment to trade agreements to import tariffs, is the most important one by far if you want to look at pest gel. So imagine if Donald Trump was replaced by a president and the next president said, we don't care about the environment, we don't need electric cars, and that alone could put your company out of business. So what is a SWOT analysis? Well, a SWOT analysis stands for strengths and weaknesses, and it's normally internally, inside your own organization. What are your internal strengths and weaknesses versus opportunities and threats are external opportunities and threats. However, let's just go back a little bit. When we've listed our key buying factors of our customers and rated them versus the competitor, where you score a low score here, a 4, for example, would be a low score, and a high score would be a 9. You've already done a highly advanced SWOT analysis here already. So you could take all that data and plug it into your high scores would be your strengths and your low scores would be your weaknesses. By the way, if you've done a pest gel analysis, you would have already done your opportunity and threat analysis to a certain degree. And here we could just list all our pest gel opportunities and we could list all our pest gel threats as well. Now, why did we do all these exercises? Well, we did these exercises mainly to find our key issues. What are your organization or your SBU's key issues that need to be addressed? Remember, if you don't know what your key issues are, you can't address them. And if you don't address your key issues, you will not achieve your objectives. It's as simple as that. In earlier sessions, we spoke about lean strategy. What is strategy? It's objectives, issues, and a plan. What are objectives? What are issues? And this is where you write down your issues. And now the next stage of strategy is you're going to have to plan to make these issues go away. So I hope you've learned a lot. You can stop and reflect and think about your issues now. So this concludes session 5 of 7. Our next session, which is 6 of 7, is going to be which targets to target. And in marketing, we call them segments. Which segments are we going to be targeting, and how are we going to psychologically position ourselves in those segments? So, all the best. We'll see you at the next session, session 6 of 7.